Hello, everyone. It's Leslie Flowers, trailblazer for women in business, and this is Awakening Your Infinite Potential Telesummit, put on by Accelerate Experience Events 2018. And oh, am I excited for you to meet Judy Prokopiak. Well, most people call her Coach Judy because Prokopiak is quite a mouthful. So, Coach Judy, as her friends call and fans call her, has been coaching in one form or another for the last 15 years, right, Judy?
Yes.
And as the head coach for a competitive swim team, it parlayed that experience into health, life, and mindset coaching when she had to go on her own journey to better health. As a nurse and diabetes educator for over 22 years, Judy was determined to find answers, and she did. She found not only food and nutrition to support her well-being, she also discovered that much of her suffering, and yours maybe too, had to do with her own thinking, beliefs, stories of shame, unworthiness, perfectionism, actually kept Judy stuck in grief, depression, and anxiety. And she discovered that she needed a new way to think, a new way to be, and to learn to take back control over her thoughts. It's always a thinking problem, Coach Judy says. She now helps women in any kind of life transition to wake up, stop sleepwalking through life, and dare to dream another dream. Coach Judy, welcome to our Telesummit. So happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy that I went on this journey and the universe brought me to you and you to me and whoever out there needs to see this. So thank you for this summit, because definitely we all need to keep waking up. Stop sleepwalking through life. Wake up.
And we have to do it lots of times, don't we, Judy?
Yes.
We do. So tell us about where you were and how this all occurred, and once you had your awakening, what you did next, okay?
Absolutely. So, like you just said, we have lots of awakening moments and lots of wake-up calls that we don't necessarily listen to, right? So I really had to kind of think about this, but I really want to go back to 2009. Actually, 2008, I had some gynecologic outpatient surgery, and that was going to be just, fine. Everything was going to be fine. Shortly thereafter, I went into full-blown autoimmune response. We didn't even know what was going on. I was just really sick. Bleeding and belly problems and gut problems and allergies and all kinds, just one thing after another. So, that was about 6 months of this struggle, on top of the fact that I had 35 years of shame and unworthiness and depression and chronic fatigue and, so eating disorder. Like, I had a lot of baggage already, and now I just piled some more stuff on top of it. But it was about 6 months after this, and I was really, really struggling and suffering and could barely get out of bed. And I was working as a swim coach at the time. And all I could do was go to the pool in the morning and then come home and lay in the bed and then go back to the pool. So I'm laying in the bed, and my husband is just so warm and loving. I'm so blessed. And I just said to him, I think you need to put me in a nursing home, because I don't think I can keep living like this. I said it kind of jokingly, but honestly, I was just feeling like I can't imagine living the rest of my life like this. Like, right, and I'm going to the doctors, and a lot of us know how that is. I don't know. Try this, do this. We don't know what's wrong with you. And even as a nurse, I was like trying to be my own advocate. But the truth is, when you are sick and tired and exhausted and overwhelmed and depressed and in pain, it's really hard to be your own advocate. It's really hard to step out and ask for things that you want. And so my husband says to me, he gave me a kiss, and he says, "You'll figure it out. It'll all be okay." Right? And that was really like the way, like, I'm getting chills right now. that was really just like this wake up moment to say to me, take back control over your health and your life and your, like you can figure this out. Like, you're a nurse, you're a diabetes like, what? Like, of course you can figure this out, right? So that was really like the moment. Oh my gosh, like I have chills, I really do. And that was really the moment that I went, okay. And then of course I had, now what am I gonna do? I thought I was already doing everything, right? Listening to the doctors and such. So I just really got busy, and actually I started watching summits. This was 10 years ago. Summits were just barely coming out, or it wasn't even called a summit, I don't think. It was like just somebody talking about gluten and leaky gut and autoimmune things. And I was like, okay, I don't know. That sounds like what I have, right? It sounds like what's going on with me. And, so I really went all in and got books and learned. And then I really tapped into my own inner wisdom and my own intuition, which is kind of what we're talking about, waking up to, you know what your potential is. You know the power of what you have. You know more that you have all the answers, right? You have the answers, but we're always looking out there for the answers. So I really tapped into that. Wait, I'm a nurse. And I kept going into the doctors and saying, I think I have the gluten problem. And I think I have the lactose problem. And I think I've got some kind of colitis. And I think I'm allergic to stuff. And every time I went, they would say, you know what? You're right. You're right. And I said, I don't want to be right. I want to be well. Like, I don't want to be right. Like, why? But what really woke me up to this was, I'm a nurse, and I already had 20-something years of knowledge and experience. I was a diabetes educator. I was a swim coach, so I knew about nutrition and sports and the body and how it worked. And here I was struggling.
But isn't that, Judy, though, and apologies for interrupting, but isn't that just so true, that we can't see ourselves from inside the frame? Like, we can be an expert in A and be the worst proponent of A, right?
Absolutely. You're so right, and you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You can't,
right.
You have no awareness of what's happening because you're in the story.
That's right. That's right.
You kind of have to step out. So I really had this, when I would go to the doctors and I would see all these people in the waiting room, and I thought, oh my gosh, like I have all of this. And as a nurse, I got a little more respect from doctors, right? Because I was like, hey, I know what I'm talking about here. I'm not a hypochondriac, right? I just want to be well. And I really started to have all this compassion for all of the patients, that I had served over the years, and now all these people. And I thought, wow, they're really like, they're just struggling, really. Where are they going to get their help and support and all this stuff? So anyway, went on my journey, learning, healing, food, nutrition, trying things, just trying to figure it all out, right? And if I would have known there was a thing called a health coach or, a mentor or something, and, fortunately we have so much more available now than we did 10 years ago. But it took me a lot of years to really figure it out, trial and error.
Well,
but I ended up getting myself.
Can I ask you a question, please? So with all these symptoms,
yes,
was there ever a specific diagnosis? And then I want to know where the mindset piece came in, because did the one diagnosis cover everything or some things? And then how did the mindset piece actually play into your healing?
Right. So I ended up getting diagnosed with autoimmune colitis.
Okay.
And autoimmune, my mom died of pulmonary fibrosis, autoimmune pulmonary fibrosis, and I was developing scarring in my lungs, same kind of thing. And so it was some kind of autoimmune response that was creating all of these other problems.
Okay.
And I had some gynecologic things, so I ended up having to deal with that as well. Like there was some, I went right into menopause.
It was the autoimmune that cause deficiencies or
Correct.
conditions that were causing all these other symptoms.
Symptoms. Yes.
And then you brought in the mindset with the health. And so I'm really interested,
Yeah.
especially for the people out there that, I mean, we're not going to diagnose you.
No.
What we want to do is see what we can do on our own with our thinking.
Correct.
And mindful eating to see if we can't alleviate some of that on our own. Right, Judy?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So fast forward, I'm taking my health is better. And then I decide to, become a health coach because I'm thinking, oh, well, this will be good. I can help people. And what happened was, as I started working with clients on their health, we got into their life, right? And their stories, and their shame, and their unworthiness, and their baggage, right? And then guess what? I saw it in myself. Oh, I needed to heal some of these stories, and I needed to heal some of these things. But I didn't get the wake-up call yet, But 2015, I was at a health coaching workshop, and my mom, who had now been gone 10 years, came to me, and she said, wake up, Judy, wake up. It's time to wake up, make your mess your message. And I started crying, and I was like, what mess? What message? There's so many. But I was really gifted with a wake-up call, right? And that was when I started healing, and that was when I realized, oh my gosh, it's a thinking problem. I need a new way to think. I need to go get some help. I need to find mentors. I need to find people. I need to find coaches.
But really, you want to do, what would you say is the first and second thing? When you got to that point, and this was another awakening, and this was your mother appeared to you, or either, visually or internally.
In the dream.
And so then what happened? What did you do when you got this profound message?
Yeah.
Because these messages are not coincidental, they're synchronous. So what did you do first when you got this? Because didn't it shock you?
Yes. Well, because I'm a swimmer, I ran to the pool at the hotel and started crying in the water.
So that was the first thing you did.
I let the tears flow. And then what happened was I found myself journaling and writing and pouring out I didn't know what was happening. All of these memories and all of these stories came pouring out, and they just wanted to be released, right? And so that was what was happening. That was the beginning of that. And then I thought, well, what am I doing with then now I'm in tears, and I'm, day after day, I'm just writing and crying and blubbering mess, liquids frothing out of everywhere. But it was so beautiful. It was so healing. And, and then of course I'm like, I don't know, is this a book? What am I supposed to do with this, all of these feelings? And then I realized, wow, I never really felt my feelings, right? I squashed them, I ate them, I pushed them down. My mom had a lot of depression and things. And, and I just steeled myself over the years, like, I'm going to suck it up and swim through life. And so I realized that I didn't know how to manage my mind. I didn't know how to manage my feelings. I started, again, looking online, summits. I found a hypnotherapist to kind of help me. So that was, and then I found Mary Morrissey with the Dream Builder program. And I was like, do I need a dream? I don't know. I haven't been dreaming for 30 years. I don't know, but I like what she's saying, and she's talking about your thoughts. When I heard your thoughts create your feelings, create your actions, create your results, I was like, well, why don't they teach this in 4th grade? Like, where has this been? Like, how come I didn't know this? Right?
Right.
And
well,
so,
it's all about continuous learning, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then,
yeah. Let me ask you now for the listeners.
Yes.
So when you recognize these moments you got into immediate action.
Yes.
What would you tell a person who's on the verge, who's listening to you, that maybe has some of these issues, that has considered new ways of thinking, but doesn't have a clue, right, where to start? I think that's our issue.
Yeah.
Where do we start? And if it's too many things to do, we get confused. Give me one or two things, right? So for the listeners who are let's say experiencing a desire, you actually purged
Yeah.
a lot of those in your writing. So if a person is at this pivotal moment where they have a lot of things going on, what would be your best recommendation, the first thing that they should do, or they might consider doing, to move forward into their infinite potential?
Yeah. I think definitely start writing out. Just start writing, whatever, like a brain dump, whatever you want to call it, a download, or something. Just get it out of your head, because if you're like me, it was just going around and around and around and around, and then you're like, why can't I get out of my own way? What's happening? Why am I stuck? Why am I stuck? Why am I stuck?
Right.
You know, and so getting it out on paper, and then you can sort of get a little clarity about, oh, like, wow, I'm really still angry at my dad, or I'm really mad, I'm really shaming myself. Like the words that are coming out are, you're a loser, what's wrong with you? You know better. Why did you do that? Why? So getting it out on some paper so that you can, number one, get the emotion out of it, right? Then we can start taking the words away from the thoughts, you know, separating some emotion. And once you kind of look at that, then you can say, wow, what do I need? Do I need some help? You know, is it really, like, you know, who could help me? Like, right? You know, a coach, a mentor, maybe you need a book, a friend. Start with a friend and just say, wow, this is what happened. This is what came out. Like, I just need to talk to somebody about it. I don't need you to fix me. I just need to share it, because I don't know what to do with all of this, right? I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, that's actually a very big step.
Yes.
To begin journaling. And for those people that don't like feeling vulnerable and they don't want to share, you can be vulnerable when you're writing, right? And you can ask the questions.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a whole thing about authentic journaling. Where do the answers come from, etc.? But that's another whole conversation. But here's what I find so interesting about what you're talking about, Judy, because the ability to express ourselves and write once we're inspired or motivated is critical. And so Judy is very smart, and she's created something special to give away today. So Judy, tell us a little bit about what your gift is to your listeners.
Yeah, I love it. I like to watch a video. I kind of like to connect with somebody like this, like, right? But I like to listen to podcasts and things. So anyway, I made a little video. It's about 20 minutes, but it's called Your Journey Back to Health Starts with a Dream. And the reason that I created this is because we really need a vision and a why do you want to be healthy anyway? Why do you want better health? What do you want to do with your life? If I could wave a magic wand and give you perfect health, like your best version of your health, what would you be doing that you're not doing now, right? And then that inspires you to take action on your health. That inspires you. It was much harder for me when I was just, all I said was, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be sick anymore. I don't want to feel like this. And so it was more of a grind to try to find my way out. Whereas I would have had this vision of me paddleboarding and living in Florida and all of this, the life I have now, right? I would have been like, of course I want to eat broccoli and drink water. That sounds awesome.
So the key then is to really to get into action right away. And when you watch this video, do you recommend that they write? Are you going to give them anything to write about or to consider?
Yeah, so there's some writing prompts in the video for you to do, and then you have a little worksheet that you can also write some questions, answer some questions that I have there, And, you know, I would love it if you really want some support, some feedback, just someone to, you know, chat with you about what's going on. And if you would email it to me, and I'm happy to spend a little time, you know, get on a phone call with you and just say, hey, you know, let's talk about what's going on and how you're feeling. And because I've been there.
Yeah, and really, for the listeners, I want you to realize, and I know you do, that Judy, being a nurse and a coach, brings together two fields that, rather than having two people to bounce ideas off of, this one person has a lot of resources and background and experience to help you. So there's nothing wrong with having these things. And if you're in a place where you're ready for a breakthrough and you've got a lot of things going on physically and you want to start thinking differently, I highly recommend that you watch this interview again, and that you download what she is sharing with you, and you fill out the sheet, because that will put you in action and begin to move you toward your optimum health. Is that right, Judy?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because really, this is the awakening, you know, your infinite potential. You cannot hear your potential when you are suffering and your health is suffering and your mind is suffering. You're not being able to bring your gifts to the world. And I thought I was a good woman doing good work in the world. I was doing a lot, but I was a human doing, not a human being.
I got it. Oh, what a great distinction. Well, thank you so much, Judy. I know how busy you are and that you took time to share with all of our listeners. Thank you so much. This is Leslie, and this is our Awakening Your Infinite Potential Telesummit, and this was the wonderful Coach Judy Prokopiak. Thank you, everyone. See you with the next presentation.